gonna do like that at the show tonight.
Alrighty then. It's good to be back in SoCal. We are the Boxmasters from Bellflower, California. And we're so happy to be back in Southern California. We started in Oklahoma, that was our first show, and which was great. We've had a wonderful tour so far, and we're only about 10 shows in. We have 60 shows out of 70 days. And after the pandemic and everything, they used to have this radius thing where if you play, let's say here in San Juan Capistrano, you can only play outside 100 miles from there, right? This radius thing. Now, after COVID, people just want you to be there and they don't care anymore. So now we have Southern California shows in 7 different places, I think. Yeah, Paso Robles and all over. We actually have 3 LA shows. We've never done that because it's, that's usually against the rules. But, right? And so one way or the other, we got these 60 shows, we've done 10, so we got 50 shows left. And when we got back here and stepped off the bus today, I was like, oh, we're home, this is great. And so we're gonna be here for about another week. And we actually get to sleep at home for a few nights, which is nice. And they're at our headquarters in Bellflower, California. And so a couple of things I want to tell you before we go any further. We are the Boxmasters from Bellflower, California. We are a certified rock and roll organization that has been together for 16 years, after my solo days. And but not only are we a certified rock and roll band, we're also certified automotive mechanics, as you can tell. So if anybody needs their car fixed tonight, we're the guys to help you out. Bunch of grease monkeys up here. We played at the Coach House over the past 20 years or so, several times, and this is a legendary place. Everybody in the world's played here. The first time I ever came here, I saw Leon Russell here. And, when you're on the stage for people like that, we're going to be playing the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa this year, which is the last place Buddy Holly played before he died. He died right there. And they haven't changed it since. They left it exactly as it was. And we played there once before, and it's so legendary. So when you come in places that have been around a long time, there's always a great feeling we have, you know what I mean? And because you're standing on a stage that you share with the legends that you idolized when you were growing up. So we're happy to be back here at the Coach House, and thank you guys for coming out so much. And before we get too far, I have to tell you 2 other things. When I was a kid, I was a baseball player. I was a jump pitcher. And jump pitchers have a lot of superstitions. And the tour has been going so well. We've had sold out shows everywhere around, Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona. We were in Phoenix last night. And the other day I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom on the bus. And it was after like the 2nd show. And I dropped some toothpaste on my boot. And the show went so well that night that I haven't wiped the toothpaste off this boot, and I'm not going to. I mean, you can see it. It's right there. Yeah. And the other thing is my wife, Connie, I know the guys doesn't tell you guys some of us are married, but we're going to tell you anyway. And so she ordered me these socks that I told her that I found when I was out of town in Georgia. And I got these Ralph Lauren or Ralph Lauren, however the hell I said, these socks that fit me okay. Now, when you put socks on that are too skinny, and at the end of the night you take them off and you got a ring around your leg and you're afraid that you got that thing that they put on the internet that's like, if your ankles look like this, you're dying, And so, anyway, these Ralph Lauren socks that I got were great. And the ones that Connie ordered, were some other type. And they're like that big around. Now, I weigh 140 pounds, you know what I mean? And my legs look like, broom straws. I'm like the boss, Homer Simpson's boss on Simpsons. Anyway, so if you can make rings around my skinny ass ankles, you're saying something. So what I did the other night, and she bought me like 30 pairs of these to take on tour. Every night I put them on, and my legs look like I have elephantitis. And my ankles are literally like that big. So what I did is I cut them off right at the top, right? Just where you got those, those little socks that girls wear with the ball on them that they put in their tennis shoes? So now all my socks are like that. But I cut the tops off of them. And that's what that is. So, and I thought, hey, maybe that'll look cool. Guess what? It doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a couple of select fans out here the tops of my socks. this one we're going to throw to the four winds. Let's see who gets it. There you go. Anyway, now that those are off, we wrote a song, me and JD here to my left, born and raised in Bellflower, California. We wrote this song a few years ago dedicated to one of our favorite bands called Devo. And it's also dedicated to a town called Roswell, New Mexico, where some aliens evidently crashed a long time. It's called science fiction. We love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Now we're used to playing sweaty rock and roll clubs and amphitheaters and big theaters and stuff like that, and the theaters are more difficult to get people up and moving around. And we do realize that you just had a steak and a baked potato, but before the night is over, and we'll do it just right, by the algorithm, but at some point tonight, we're going to get all of you guys standing up and coming up here and getting in our faces. So at some point, I'm sure you've had a relationship with someone that you like to look at very, very much. They look so good you can barely stand it. But you weren't quite as fond of hearing them talk. Now, and this is, I mean, we look at things from the point of view of men, but this is for both sides. I'm sure that you girls have been with some guy at some point that is like, oh, you're pretty, but please shut up. And men have been with a Barbie doll at some point, and they were like, let's just not talk. let's just do that. You know? So we wrote a song dedicated to that very subject called I Still Want to See You, I Just Don't Want to Hear You. So, if you will, indulge us for a moment. So during the pandemic, JD and I, right here, the guy here, born and raised in Bellflower, California, during the pandemic, we didn't have anything else to do, so we made not one, not two, but 3 new albums. And when we heard these things, and we're touring with a record right now called Help I'm Alive. Normally people say help I'm drowning, help I'm dying, but in these current times it was like, help, I'm alive in this time. So during the process, we ended up making an album just before we left town, and literally just dropped the tapes off to the mastering engineer the day we left to go on the tour. And we really liked a couple of these songs for live songs enough to where we thought we're going to play them anyway, even though we don't know them. I mean, we rehearsed them, but we don't know them that well. And there are 2 or 3 on the new album that we got out here right now that we don't know that well. So during the course of the evening, we're going to play probably 4 or 5 of those, right, Kirk? Your name's Kirk, right? Yeah, right. Oh, there it is, right there. See, we have our names here, and we have our astrological sign. If you notice. You're an Aquarius, Kirk. Yeah, there it is right there. I'm a Leo. That's a thing right there. JD's a Libra. My whole family are Libras. We have dogs who are Libras. My daughter's a Libra. My wife's a Libra. So basically, I have no say-so at all about anything. Anyway, so stop. Anyway, we're going to play some of these songs tonight that we don't know. So here's the thing. Here's what we want you to do. because we're barely into the tour. We're getting closer on these, but we thought, why not? Because now, you know, in these days and times, people need to just have fun and love each other and just be, you know, have a great time, because the world's gone getting crazy. And so we want you to just pretend during these songs that we do that are new, that you're in our studio in Agoura Hills, California, which we have to drive all the way from Bellflower every day there, but so you got the joke, didn't you? And so one way or the other, just pretend you're in the studio with us. We're all pals, and we don't have gadgets. In other words, we just play. We're a rock and roll band, you know, based on the 60s. We do original songs. We don't do Stairway to Heaven. We don't do LaGrange. We don't do Color My World. These, as they used to say back in the South, we made these songs up ourselves. And if you'll just bear with us when we do these songs, and like I said, there's 4 or 5 of them, and just pretend you're in the studio, and we're all pals, and if you hear us screw up, it's gonna happen. You'll hear it, because we don't have, like, you know, pre-recorded anything. Everything we do up here is what we're doing. So if we mess up, you will definitely hear it. Anyway, thank you for your patience here in San Juan Capistrano. Thank you so much.